But yeah, let's just get straight into it. The big kind of news at the minute that's been circling is a £50 million bid's been put in by Arsenal for Ben White at Brighton. Um, I mean, I've been quite vocal in my opinions on this in the group chat. I think it's safe to say that. What are your initial thoughts on that? 50 million.
It's far too much. Far too much. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean I don't think it could be worth that one day, but I just don't think it's anywhere near that price tag right now. But isn't that just modern football all over? Like,
It screams modern football, English, inflation.
exactly. It's just not right. I feel like, Mikel Arteta has been rumoured to have been given a £250 million budget for this transfer window.
That's
And
mental in itself, by the way.
I was going to say, where Arsenal have scooped that money from, I don't know, considering they couldn't even afford to pay for bloody Gunnosaurus a few months ago. So, where 250 mil has turned up from, I don't know. Um, but if that's true, then I feel like 50 million on Ben White is silly, really silly. You could buy a whole new squad that could challenge for top six with 250 million pounds. Like
Mm.
straight up, I don't know why you'd waste 50 million of it on Ben White when you could probably pick up someone just as good from a foreign country for about 10 million. So, for me, that's just poor recruitment, really poor recruitment, lazy recruitment, actually. And to be honest, it just sounds like kind of hopping on the bandwagon of what you've heard in the news, who's good, sort of thing. It doesn't even sound like there's been any in-depth scouting into this. Just sounds very amateurish. I'm sure that's probably not the case, but 50 million for Ben White, really? Come on,
Mm.
lads. Let's just get it together. Realize what you're about to do, and maybe look at something more realistic. Which, for me, I believe is more like 20 million pounds or
Mm.
25 million pounds.
I mean,
There.
Arsenal fans, let us know in the comments if you're watching. But yeah, I definitely like. It's hard for us to say because we're both neutrals in this situation. We've both seen Ben White in the Championship as well as Leeds. Uh, I like Ben White as a player. Don't I don't want this to kind of gloss over how good of a player that he is because look, I don't think he's worth 50 million in a million years. But I guess that's just that's good business from Brighton for one. But I guess it kind of tells us where Arsenal, if 250 million budget is true, it kind of tells us where Arsenal are planning to go down with this because Ben White's a good footballer. He's a good ball playing centre back, right? And he can play midfield as well. But my view on Arsenal from the outside is that they concede a lot of sloppy goals. And I don't think scoring goals has always been a problem for them. But I think defending has and keeping clean sheets has. And I think you'll always find me saying this. I love a team that builds a strong spine. Um, I don't think Ben White fits into that. I think he's a bit of a lightweight defender. I think he could easily get bullied. I don't think he's aerially amazing. This comes after they've not long spent 30 million on Saliba as well, who hasn't even played a game for them yet. I know that wasn't under
I was
Arteta.
going to say they're looking at loaning him to Newcastle, so it seemed pointless.
It wasn't under Arteta, which I understand. It. I mean, it looks like he might be going back to Stuttgart, but yeah, I definitely like Ben White as a footballer. Don't get me wrong, I don't think he's in the 50 million bracket, but like I said, I think it just kind of shows where Arsenal are going to go. They want the ball. They want the
Yeah.
ball. Don't get me wrong, we could be looking back on this in a season's time and could look complete fools when Arsenal get in the top four again, which I can't be honest, I can't see happening at the minute.
No.
But yeah, I feel like well, Arsenal fans, let us know in the comments if you're watching. But me personally, I think 50 million is a lot for a player that's it improves your defense, but is it really, really what you want? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
does it really going to make Arsenal keep more clean sheets? I don't really know.
For me personally, I feel like Arsenal's defensive woes are big, and to put that on the shoulders of young Ben White is far too much. Far too much.
This puts a lot of pressure on the player, by the way.
Exactly, and bearing in mind the price tag pressure that would be on there as well, that's enough as it is. So I just don't think it's a good move for anybody, not even Ben White. But I mean, if he's willing to handle that, then fair play to him. And it wouldn't surprise me if he relished it. You know, he's relished the pressure in an England shirt so far. So there's no reason why he couldn't, surprise everybody. We've seen it before. I mean, Virgil van Dijk was never expected to do as well as he did at Liverpool for the price tag, but he did. So no, it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how it develops. But for me, I feel like they could have gone for cheaper options, even someone like Pau Torres, like just anyone. But I suppose that could be Arsenal fans might say, "Oh, we've had signings like that before, like Socrates, and look how that worked out." Or even Mustafi. They have had them sort of players. And I suppose, going for a kind of an English defender, young and up and coming, would be quite retro Arsenal, really. They were always ones for like solid English centre backs back in the day. So I suppose to bring back that culture would be interesting. But I think Arsenal, it might be good for them in that sense because Arsenal need to find themselves again. And if if reverting back to previous methods from even so long ago, despite possibly being outdated, if you can kind of modify that and adapt to that, then you could start to turn the club's DNA round again back to where it should be. But it's a long process and it's a bit of a gamble. But right now, I just don't really see what Mikel Arteta is trying to prove with this signing. But it's not on paper. Ben White's a quality player. It's not a bad signing, but for the money, it is a poor signing.
Yeah, no, I agree. Don't get me wrong. There is advantages to signing Ben White, but I guess it comes down to what they need. I mean, that's what a lot of their budget took up
Yeah,
already by that signing. There's a lot of things wrong with Arsenal, and we can talk all day about Arsenal if we wanted to. But
true.
as neutrals, I think it's best we just see how this pans out at the minute. They're in advanced talks at this stage. What that really means, I don't know. But yeah, 50 mil for a 23-year-old who's played. Don't even think he's played 50 games in the Premier League yet. Um, it's quite a gamble. Might come
Yeah.
off, but we'll have to see, won't we? But yeah, that's kind of it on that.